Bought the Nautical Nonsense and Sponge Buddies DVD from an online auction. The box was perfectly normal, shrink-wrapped even. The disc inside looked identical to my old copy from years ago. Nothing about it screamed cursed, but when I put it in, the menu was wrong. The music didn't play, it just hung there, silent, with SpongeBob's grinning face frozen in grainy yellow. His eyes looked off slightly too wide, like someone had pulled them open and forgotten to let go. I pressed play all because curiosity beat hesitation. The first few episodes were normality at the Treedome, bubble stand, ripped pants, nothing strange. Then, instead of fading to black before the next cartoon, the screen pulsed white, not a fade, not a cut. A sharp pulse like a camera flash burned into my retinas. The title card appeared, and only then did I see it. G46dg465e4uf54y, not centered, not colored, just plain, raw text in white courier font on a pitch-black screen. The episode began with SpongeBob sitting on his bed. The animation was scratchy, inconsistent. His body jittered like old film being chewed by a projector. He was breathing heavily audible too, not the usual cheery sound design. His bed creaked as though someone leaned a microphone right up against it. The room was darker than usual. No background music, only SpongeBob's breathing. He stared at the camera. For nearly 3 minutes just breathing. I thought maybe it was a glitch, but then his mouth opened, trembling, not smiling, quivering as if speaking was painful. When he finally muttered something, the audio was low and garbled, like a voice recorded underwater. Why won't it stop? The camera panned around his room. The walls weren't his normal bright blue wallpaper. They were raw, porous, sponge flesh, pitted and yellowed, pulsating faintly. The furniture sagged into the floor, absorbed like it was sinking into him. SpongeBob stood up. His legs cracked as though bone was breaking. He staggered to the window, but outside wasn't Bikini Bottom. It was nothing, just black, empty water stretching forever. Patrick knocked at the door. The sound was muffled, distorted. When he entered, his eyes weren't eyes. They were holes, cavernous and dripping black sludge. He didn't speak. He just lumbered toward SpongeBob. SpongeBob backed into the wall, leaving greasy sponge flesh imprints where he touched it. His breathing got faster, louder, until it was all I could hear. Patrick tilted his head and let out a sound I can only describe as a hard drive failing. A shrill, digital scream. SpongeBob collapsed to the floor, holding his head, shrieking back in raw static. The scene cut abruptly to he was in his house, but it looked wrong. His walls sagged like damp paper. His clarinet was bent in half, dripping black liquid onto the carpet. His eyes darted to the window. Something enormous was moving outside, just beyond the glass. I leaned closer, trying to see. The shape pressed against the window. It was SpongeBob's face, stretched across the entire pane. His skin was cracked, flaking, eyes rolling wildly in different directions. He whispered the same word over and over. Stop, 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 stop. The DVD player whirred loudly. The episode skipped, frames, stuttering like it didn't want me to keep watching, but it kept going. Now SpongeBob was back in his room, rocking on the floor. The screen slowly zoomed in on him. His paws were bleeding. The closer it zoomed, the more detailed the wounds became, sponge flesh tearing open, exposing raw, wet tissue beneath. His laugh echoed faintly, warped into something broken, like glass grinding against itself. And then just when it got unbearable, the screen cut to black. For 5 minutes, I thought it had ended, but then the black screen displayed one single phrase. Stark white text. I can't get out. The disc spat back to the menu on its own. SpongeBob's frozen grin still filled the screen, only now, his pupils were gone. When I reached to eject the DVD, the button refused to respond. The player's light flickered, whining loudly, before the entire unit sparked and exploded in a small burst of smoke and plastic. The disc, though, lay perfectly intact among the debris. Not a scratch. I don't know what's on it anymore. I don't want to, but I still have it, sitting on my desk, daring me to play it again.